layers for the tie and undershirt with the gloves are color changeable. So we have Ghost, we have Dark Suit, High Suit, we have Dark, we have the original OG, the OG with color trim, and the OG with Fresnel. So Ghost, Heist, Dark, OG, the Emission, and then the Fresnel that pairs with them. For heads, we have 3 mask colors. We have Default, the gold with the green, which is another one, and then we have one with the darker eye. The 2 on the side is a variation, but it's a variation in the mesh for material assignment. So the eyes are substituted out to pair with the bones. So you would have to color shift a lot of the effects that you'll see farther down the line. The fires and the effects are easily color shiftable on a hue. So there's a hue control, where is it? Right here. So you can easily just shift between all the colors. You can do that with all the effects. So Ghost, Heist, Dark, OG, Emission with Fresnel, and then we have putting them to use for this variation. There are 3 kinds. So the first one has no finger effect. Second one has the effect on the fingers, and then the third one is the eye mesh alteration. So because it has the eye mesh alteration, you cannot take off the pumpkin mask because all that will be floating in the air. But I will get back to the first. So we have all features on, so the inner shirt and the gloves can be taken off, which leads to this. You can see the bones and everything. You can see inside the shirt, the shoulder plates. And then this is with the main inner shirt glove off. From there are 3 variations. So the gloves that would originally be on, you can turn into this outer layer effect, which is a fire. So the translation to in-game engine is kind of sloppy, so having it as an emission, it'll translate exactly as you see it here. So you have just the gloves, then you have the gloves and the suit, and then you have the just the suit with the gloves on. Here is the variation without the mask. Of course the buttons match the bones too. Then we have the other variation, which is the 77, which has the finger flames to it as well, which is bound on a mesh material. Finger flames with the skull off, or the mask off for the skull. And then we have the mesh eye material that shares with the skeleton. So you can change the fire effects on a hue, from the bones to the feet to the fingers to the horn. as well as the glowing effect for the hands and the chest, and then for the suit itself. So say for example, if we were to slap one together, I'll pull out the 99. The 99 is the one with the eyes, and then I'll pull out the 77. 77 is the one with just the hands, and then I will pull out the 2-something. 27. This is 722 is representing July 22nd. So you can see, because of the red on the fingers, those are a different sizing to the regular gloves, because it's a layer, so you can apply them. You can see this is orange, like the horn here, because that's part of the skeleton. So let's say I wanted to do, I don't know, high suit. So you can do this base will affect what's inside, and then we can do the suit, which is an opacity layer. And it would be like that. Or we could do off, which will turn it off. And then for the gloves and the inner shirt, we can do dark, default, we can do ghost, gold. Ghost and gold will have a difference in glove color. And then say if you don't want the foot flame, I'll put on the default first, and then we can take that off if we need to. So main feet, just like that. You could have it on, or you could use the opacity layer as off. You have to take that off. And we have the mask. We do the default, and then we have the bone. We can do main bone. Just like that. Or again, we do take the mask off, or we take the bone off, just for that. Also do gold dark, or we could do gold green. Say if we want to do that green, then we can pull bone green. Or if you wanted to use the 99, which has the shared mesh layer, you could do that there. You could use any of the base mask colors. Oh, the green for that one won't really matter because you're already hiding it. You can really just make variations. So the 99 is special because the eye is shared with the bone. 77 is special because it has the fingers, which the 99 will also have. And then the 722 is the default with no fingers and no special facial bone material layering. So let's say if I do a gold mask, and we can do heist body on the outer layer. The shoe is the inner layer, because the outer layer is primarily used for decal or an opacity layer. So we could do gold shoes, or we could do the dark for the black shoes. We could do Drift 3, which is the full-on Fresnel and immersion for the Fresnel shoes. There's a lot that you can do with it, really. Say, for example, if I wanted to do gloves off, let's say if I don't want to fire, I could use something else. What's it? Dark bones, but it's just a spare. I had other spares, but I think I might have gotten rid of them. Do it like that. And you can make color changes for these too if you don't want the fire effect. Guess I prefer the fire button over these last two. Okay, so let's say if you wanted to customize the pumpkin coloring, just come in here and we can do color shifting. I would have to make a texture that would have the orange on the pumpkins being white, so that way when you color shift, it'll be the color that represents. And we could do that on an opacity layer, which is this outer layer that would hold the special effects. And in that case, we could shift just the decals alone without affecting the color of the main suit underneath. But if you use that, you won't be able to use the fire effect that's glowing up on here for the main suit. But right now, it's on the base interior, which you can assign by placing it on the shoe. And you could just shift the color. But the color shift isn't perfect because the base color is an orange rather than a white. And let's say, for example, if we were to use the second one, which has the emission for the pumpkin eyes, as well as the emission on the trim for the cloth masking and cloth Fresnel and all that other stuff, you could then say, so that's the two. So right now, here is the emissive for the pumpkins, which is the eyes and mouth. And then the cloth control down here affects the color of the trim alteration, which isn't really that visible, but you could actually turn it up and down, which would remove or make the trim of the pumpkins more viewable. But you can change the emissive of the eye colors because the default's white. Go with that, and then no, wait, I have to apply it third. Okay. Boom, like that. change the eye color and whatnot. Save, let's just set it to blue. And then we have a Fresnel color, which is a slide effect on that. It's turned on the number 2. The number 3 has the Fresnels turned up more. Let's say if we would have shifted this one. It's a bit faint, but it's there. So you could shift that too. Then we have the number 3, which is the Fresnel that is on. And make the opacity. We'll just set the outer layer off for the moment, so we'll just see the inner layer. So then with number 3, that includes the variation with the Fresnel glow on the trim, which is camera based. We can even alter those in addition to the emission there. So you could change that into a color hue, or say let's make it green, more green in there. And you can adjust the values. You can make it as a whole with the main color change, or you can make it where the color is inverted, so rather than coming from the trim, it's coming from the external, like from the interior going out. You could just do a lot with it. I'm not going to tinker around with that too much right now. And then color tinting, again, you can still color tint as well. So if you wanted to make it green, cancel. You could put all these effects on any of the suits or any of the masks or anything that is a fire effect, because the fire effect runs on a different material. I have a master material here. So it's comprised of 6. The 6th one you can't see, you just have to transfer it in, but the 5 do appear. So we have the Master Fix, which is the main. Go ahead and. So this is a list of what the Fortnite devs had for their master material. I have everything in here. However, I made some modifications. So in some instances, the Epic Games, they have a inversion. There's a toggle there that they didn't really have because it was buggy. So we went ahead and made a patch for that using cache and calls. So there's like 5 or 6 different items that work together in unison because they were caching and calling them forward. So that way, not only could we toggle on the emission inversion, but we could also set it on a value scale between 1 and 0 that you can turn up or down. There's additional masks and everything, so it's an improved version of what Epic Games uses for all their Fortnite special effects. So I had not really done much with that, but there is a lot that you can do. So then we have metallic. There it is. So we have cloth tech, we have the Fresnel, we have the post process FX, and we have pre-process FX, and then we have some other stuff going on too. Fresnel. We have tech art. it's cached and it's pulling in forward and it goes out to the output result. So we have pre. Especially synchronized with synchronized. And we have, I think that's just for another part of my project that I don't currently have in there right now. No, that's trash. I can't really find the other one right now. Master fix. I pulled that one. Either way, there's a lot that's going on. There's a lot that you can do. This is what I've done so far. I'd say I've probably done about 300-400 hours. I've put in like $400 or $500 in commissions for assistance on the project. But that's about everything. I can launch this in on the launch session for Fortnite, but currently there is an error on my skeleton that's assigned to the number 99, which I can just get that patched out. But everything is completely game rigged as far as animations and weights, posing. Has the full character controls for Fortnite and everything.